I'm gonna go and record that. So thank you guys, Eric Hatch here. Appreciate you guys being here. I will share my screen and we will talk about let's take a look at it. There's all of a sudden the AI companion, that little stars down there, as we talked about last week about looking for these stars. Now all of a sudden Zoom's got it down there on the bottom. Now all of a sudden it's got some kind of AI function on there. So that's kind of cool. So I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but we will come into that. I'll get back up into here. We'll talk about divorce listings, and I'll probably leave it kind of, I guess I could open this, but if oops, we got 3 more people coming in. So Alma's coming in, Shireen, we got some new people. I haven't seen a couple of people here. I got Rose coming in from Antica. There's David. There we go. He's in. So, all right, he's joining. All right, so we're going to go from slideshow. I'll just start from it's a little bit bigger so you guys can kind of see it. So, all right, so welcome everyone. Appreciate everyone. I should be able to see if more people are dropping in. I think we're good to go right there. But thank you. So, David, thank you so much for asking this question last week or this week in regards to, and please, you guys, if there's any type of subject that you guys want to know about or have a little bit more information or just want to be trained on, feel free just to let me know. Send me a quick email. We can do that as well. So that would be great. And so this is kind of for him and for all of us. So guys, I don't know what those, and you maybe could raise your hands, you could shake your head, whatever you want. But if you guys have ever done a divorce listing before, if anybody have done a divorce listing, worked with a divorce listing, I got a few cameras. Okay, so here's what we got is that it's a different, most of us probably will just come across something and be involved in a divorce listing and not really go publicize or not really go and say, hey, I am, a divorce specialist. Yeah, so we got it. Yes, ugly. Yes, I should. Thank you. So, so some of these, it's not a fun experience. So let me just share with you on what you need to make sure on some pro tips on this from what I've learned that have been some issues and concerns with that I've learned that have been a problem that I could have avoided. We have one going on right now, and you just set the expectations up front and let them know that we communicate all together in a group email, a group text, a group, whatever it might be. Oftentimes, like when you go in, somebody calls you, and I went into one a few months ago, and I go to their house, and the missus doesn't want anything to do with me. Mr. Seller called me and says, please come help. She had nothing. She wanted nothing to do with me. She was just, because it's a bad situation. So you're going into these situations that are not your typical sitting down there with the significant others, the couple, and you're just chatting and having a great conversation and everybody's on the same page. Somebody in there is going to generally be not happy. Could be both of them. Sometimes you'll be in a divorce situation. I like it when they actually will sit down together with both of us at the same time. I want to ask, I know these are tough questions, and I let them know. I said, look, I'm going to ask some tough questions. I don't want to know about their personal life as far as like who did what and who's blaming who, and I just want to keep it nice and cordial. I explained that I'm an expert, certified, whatever you want to be on divorce. I handle this. So you want to talk to both of them, set their expectations, sit down with both of them, have that conversation, say, this is how it's going to go. I want to know who's staying in the house, who's not in the house, what situation, where they're going to end up going. Are they renting somewhere else? Are they going to buy another home? Just to have this conversation of who's in charge of, not in charge, it's a word you probably don't want to use, but just be letting them know that I'm sending both information to both parties at the same time. We literally got an email yesterday that said they have a court judgment, an arbitrator letter of how they're dividing the numbers. They wanted separate signing appointments. Do not want to sign at the same time. So you're respecting these people, and it's going. The emails are going to both parties, which is nice to see. So if you have any communication, please do not text one person and start texting. You will find that person will start texting you individually and not wanting the other person to be in a group text. And it's a hectic situation. And so you just need to set that expectation that I do not want to be communicating with one or other without the other party involved on that. So, and a lot of times when we're going to talk about, how to get involved. So you'll get an opportunity once you go through the situation, great. If you guys want to add this to a pillar of your business, here it goes, because I'll kind of show you basically what you kind of need to do and things that I do. Basically, it's being certified. You can actually say that, if you've done more than 4 or 5 or, divorce sales, you're probably going to be certified without having to go take a course or have to learn or, do anything of that nature. But it's an amazing company, Alumni Institute. For about $295, you can go get a nice class, certified that you probably, if you're new, you probably want to get some type of certification, just as you can get certified. Like I see an agent in our office that is certified for senior sellers, or something. So at least you got some kind of knowledge, some kind of certificate, some kind of training class. I've sat into a couple of with the CEO and owner and founder of Alumni, and she's great. She knows what she's talking about. She's got many years of selling herself in the real estate industry in regards to divorce sellers. So because you really need to understand the court process, because guys, we've got a couple of them right now that are happening that I am in the middle. I've had one of my good friends that they're getting divorced, and I'm trying to get the listing, but they both want me to have the listing, but the court might tell them to go get somebody else because I might be too involved. You'll get this. I got another one recently. I got denied maybe a year ago. It says you're denied because you're too close and too involved. So need to understand what the court is going to say and how the court could rule that. So being certified by a company like Alumni is important to do so. Learn about the divorce process itself, what's going to happen to proceeds, what's going to happen, and unfortunately you guys have kids. It was super sad the other day. We're walking through a home and one of the little 4-year-old, 5-year-old girls says, "Oh, this could be daddy's room." And then she had to sit there and go, "Sorry, sweetie, daddy's not coming with us." And so it's just like these heart-wrenching kind of feelings on that. And then build your professional portfolio, which we're going to talk about, and join Master Group on Facebook. Because you guys, this Alumni, they do have like a Facebook master group, which is great, which is this one here. So, and we're going to talk about this, but like right here, if you guys just want to go get a free seminar, and of course, they're probably going to, sell you on becoming, certified with them. But here we have she's a top 1% in San Diego, 20 years as selling, but this is a niche. Now, what we're discussing today is a niche about your divorce. Now, we have a whole different program for probate stuff too that we can chat about as well, but you're setting yourself as a niche. So if you guys, you're learning today and saying, do I want to be a niche in the divorce listing situation? Because I've shared with you before, the 2 things right now that are not being affected by real estate interest rates are what? Divorce and death or probate. Those are the things. I got a call yesterday. It's $1 million buyer seller. I mean, I know that you guys have situations where you think, I don't really want to call somebody who just had lost their loved one, but this guy calls me back yesterday and said, I said, when do you think you'll be having this ready for sale, and I discussing the sales on this probate one, and he goes, well, he died yesterday, so we're probably about like, oh, I'm so sorry. It was like they're already calling people a day after somebody had passed away. So when they're older in probate and stuff or divorced, you just have to be ahead of that. So these are niche opportunities to do so. So basically, this is go join this, go watch what's going on, go listen to the master group kind of things, go listen and see pictures and read articles and stuff, because we're going to share what you're going to have to do in just a moment. But this is the CEO right here, is Laurel, so a founder of that institution. So I'm going to go back to this one and go back to, I think we're pretty much at the beginning, so it's fine. All right, so be the expert, get certified. Here's like a free thing that's coming up next week on Friday, divorce niche business, 5 things to stop doing in your business, 5 ways to get the family law attorneys. So you're going to get ideas. So if you don't want to get certified and just going to this class and not have to spend the $295 to be actually certified, but you can imagine what you're going to be able to learn when you're certified, because they're going to teach you all this stuff as well. So this is probably just a little, hey guys, come listen to this. So I'll be in that class as well. All right, so when you put together, first off, you got to put together a team. So it's going to be you're going to get certified. You're going to say, I'm a certified divorce specialist. You want to, these are the people that you need to work on. Attorneys are going to be your biggest one. You want to get attorneys. I'm going to share some ideas of how to reach out to attorneys. As you guys know, we get a lot of sales calls all the time. And you might, maybe attorneys, you might feel intimidated. I just have lucky because I've sold a couple of houses from, to it, or sold their attorneys' houses and their portfolios. So I kind of have an in with some of these attorneys and probate attorneys and divorce attorneys. But you want to build your team. You want to find a lender. Now, I would recommend finding a lender or having that lender go to a certification class. So then they can also claim themselves as being a certified lender. Now, why do we need a lender, on this? Is because they, the buyer or the divorcee people, they might be purchasing. Sometimes I've had one who went and purchased a house and the other went and rented. I have one right now that she's buying another house, which we're in contract with, and he's renting. And I don't even know him. So, she's the one that's contacted me directly for the sale. So I don't really met him. I just know that they are separating and moving different directions. And so I need you to realize as well that that's future business. Most of these people actually divorce and go into kind of some type of rental and then kind of sit there for a little bit and kind of figure out what they want to do. Do not forget about them. You need to put them in your CRM system. You need to put on there, who they are, ready to buy, showing now, contact them and have tasks put in. So you want to find some kind of wealth manager, because a lot of times these individuals, they may or may not have one. And so when I'm actually sitting there having my consultation with them, I'll ask them, do you have a wealth manager that you guys trust, that you guys have all your, assets and stocks, bonds, monies, that type of stuff? A lot of it is actually already managed. I'll ask them straight up. I'll just say, hey, I need to know, where are you at with this divorce situation? Well, he just, like the last one we're in right now, she goes, he just told me last week that we're separating, or he wants to move on. Some of them are going, yeah. Some of them you'll sit down with them and says, yes, this has been about 2 months. We're not living in the same house. We've already gone to court. We're already talked about, situation, what's happening with the children. Some of these are really ugly. They actually go and fight over the custody of their children. So you need to understand kind of the ins and outs on that. So I kind of like to ask, have you gone to court yet? Because if they haven't, kind of makes you feel better, because then this is a better, amicable relationship here, that they're, respect each other a little bit more, versus having a judge tell them what they need to do and what they have to do. So they can kind of work it out as adults. And so the attorneys, this is your big one, of getting some attorneys and finding those divorce attorneys, because that's where you're going to get them. Your referrals, because you're looking for a referral business and looking together to be able to take this team and go into a listing presentation and say, this is my team, this is what I have. But you have to reverse that the attorney is also going to call you up and say, Eric, I've got, I just introduced you to Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and they unfortunately are going through a divorce. And so here's their contact number, and they're expecting you to give them a call. So lenders, maybe find some lenders that are divorce lenders. Association have been offered, certified lending professionals kind of talked about that, but let them know and understand kind of what they can do. Wealth manager, find 10 wealth managers certified divorce. You probably didn't just pick one that you're going to like, that you want to put together for your team. Help divorce couple through the asset division, spousal maintenance, child support, emotional, physical, and financial support. So, those are important to do. So let me see. Good morning. All right. Got that. All right. So you're building your team. Those who had just jumped on, we're talking about the pillar of divorce listings and how to go get them. And there's your attorney. Go find some attorneys. Cute little pictures. All right. All right. So this is what I want you to do. So your very first thing, after you actually gather your team, you get certified into a divorce specialist, then I need you guys to start doing and being an expert in that field, of showing and letting people know that you are in that field and you guys can help them. There's a lot of people, you'll get a lot of referrals on this, because a lot of people will have some, who do they turn to first? The girlfriend, their guy friend. They'll chat, they'll have a teary conversation with them and say, I can't believe that we're separating. And they're going to, go to their friends, and then their friends are going to do what? Their friends are going to help and assist them and say, okay, this is what we got to do. And they're going to give them some advice. So letting them know, and maybe that friend is a client of yours. And so this is really important. In your database, you need to be sending, if you want to take this pillar, you need to be sending and adding these emails and adding some social media posts stating that you are an expert in divorce, or saying, hey, if you just got your divorce certification, hey, just or just say, just want to, maybe I wouldn't say I'm new at divorce listings. I'd probably maybe say, hey, just want to remind everyone that I'm actually a certified divorce consultant and a real estate agent, and happy to help any of you or any of your friends that might need some help. So here we go back to the girlfriends crying on the shoulder of the other girlfriend, and they say, you know what, I have a real estate agent. He's a divorce specialist. So if you actually go and promote yourself as one of your pillars out there, then you're going to get referrals for that. You can actually go in and do some pay-per-click advertisement if you want to do that as a divorced, divorced real estate expert, or whatever you want to do. You can do some little advertisement that way, but doing it free and inexpensively. Go to your ChatGTP, go over here to the articles. Like if you go, we were talking about like this, in this little, you're going to see some other articles. Maybe she does a quote, or maybe she has a technology. Maybe there's something that you can come in here and actually take some kind of article, because you want to post this. I'm going to talk about the attorneys here in just a minute, because how you want to attach to the attorneys, but have some kind of, if you go to a conference, they have just got back from a conference or something of that nature, then so you want to create posts that you're going to want to do for these individual showings, and showing that you're the expertise on that. And so going back to the attorneys, is that I want you guys to realize on the social media posts and stuff, is that once you get, now the article, it did say get 50 attorneys, you get these other wealth managers, and you can put, so you do want to grab more. Maybe you only have one per your team, but you do want to actually, because maybe those individual wealth managers, or maybe those individual attorneys, if you just have one and you're only friends with one, and that's your main person, you're not going to get all the referrals back and forth, because there's so many. So if you Google your realtors, or Google divorce attorneys near me, you might get 15, 20, 50 of them, depends on the geographical area of your city. And so then you want to take those 50 people, and you want to actually go find them and find them on LinkedIn. So write that down, go find them on LinkedIn, and go find them on Facebook. And you want to be friends on Facebook. And then in Facebook, if they accept your friendship, then you can actually create a list just for them. So then you can post maybe once a week on some kind of article about that you're the expert of divorce, an agent that is expert in doing divorce listings. And so at that point, you're just advertising directly to them. So you're advertising to the general public that you are, and then you also need to advertise to these attorneys, to these wealth builders, to these lenders, and these individuals that, hey, I am out there, I'm an expert. So when they're sitting there talking on the phone with the Mrs. or the Mr. thinking, oh my goodness, my husband or my wife's divorcing me, what are we going to do? What do I do with my house? What is that lender going to think and know of? Because the top of mind awareness, they're going to say, I've got an expert for you who's in the field, who handles these. So show everybody that you're the expert of doing that. And how do we become the expert in working with all these attorneys and these different people? Well, you can provide workshops. You're thinking, wow, how do I provide a workshop? Well, I'll tell you right now, go get certified. Those who jumped in, this is the company that I'm certified with, or have working with on the Alumni Institute, which then actually they're helping you get certified. $295 is what it costs to be able to have that. It takes you through the class. It talks about the A's and B's all the way through the whole entire thing about being certified. And one of them that they talk about is taking and providing workshops. Now, maybe you do this Zoom. Now it could be a little interesting, because if you've got, maybe you have a husband and wife that are getting divorced, come together, but if somebody sees this, or if you promote some kind of divorce workshop, Zoom, webinar, whatever it might be, you probably will get one of the spouses that might jump on there with you. And so you will be taught and learned and be able to teach those things in regards to what's the ins and outs of how you would share your expertise on my strategy of going from A to Z on selling your property. And then you have guests, you have these attorneys, or you have a wealth building manager, or somebody who jumps on there with you in the Zoom meeting and actually shares their 10, 15-minute, what's going to happen, what's the next steps, and where you're going to be. And then maybe you have some question answering, at the end. So you're providing these Zoom kind of meetings or live meetings that you can do. Maybe you do it once a month, maybe you do it once a quarter, whatever that you want to do to promote. Now, when I used to do some other first-time homebuyer seminars, or I used to do recruiting real estate agents when I was the owner of the company, I would say, we've got this, and I would have all these people that would register for it. And I would say, you know what, I know that, thank you so much. I know the class is in 2 weeks, but I just wanted to reach out to you, or, maybe we can meet earlier, or maybe we can, assist. So there were so many times that I actually didn't ever have the class because I met them early, and then I got to them early and I already went to their house, or I already met with the real estate agent and hired them before the Zoom class even came up. So I kind of use that. You can still have it, but if no one's registered because you've already taken everyone and already met with everybody beforehand and already maybe took a couple listings before the meeting that comes in 7 or 8 days or 9 days, that's an opportunity as well. And so that's important. If you want to get crazy, like I was at the top 500 top producers over there in Cameron Park yesterday at their big event, and it was packed. It was so packed. And Katie, who's a friend, I was on the magazine. I was one in 2020. I think it was their first or second, on their magazine, on that one, on the front cover. And they were, it was wonderful to see where she's come now. When we used to have a party of like 20 to 30 people, and now there was like 300 people that were in there. So you can, if you want to, which is another idea with your attorneys and your grab the 40, 50 attorneys and the bunch of wealth planning builders and your lenders, and you throw kind of a vendor party-ish kind of thing for them to come to that event. Maybe it's at a restaurant, maybe it's at just some kind of wherever you want to be. Pardon me? Old Down Pizza, or wherever you want it to be, and you just have a mixer. And so last night, all these people were just mixing and chatting and talking. And so you can actually have all these people and just say, I just want you to invite you. So once they start getting to know that you are an expert in that, start inviting these individual people so they can come just for a network mixer, that they can come and chat. So, and talk whatever they want to talk. So that would be important as well on that. So again, just advertising that you're having a Zoom meeting for a Zoom divorce, looking at divorce in the horizon, having a meeting when you just, promote a nice ad that you've got an attorney coming and a wealth manager and maybe a lender there, and have a panel and share your kind of thoughts in regards to the process there. And you may only get one, you might get two, but you know what? That's a lead. That's somebody, that's going to be a lead. So I want to share with you in conclusion a little bit, unless we have questions and answers, is that this is something, and I'm going to start, I will show you probably my boxes are supposed to be arriving this week, I think, right? Or beginning of next. We've actually customized some boxes, and maybe you guys have seen some of this kind of floating around, but I've seen 2 or 3 other agents starting to utilize this. But they're actually putting these boxes together. They're kind of gift boxes. My thought and my idea is it's a branded box. It has my name all over it. We also have gotten different stamps that we got on Etsy and stuff that we've actually branded it. So the box has my name on it. It has branded my location, and then what we're doing is we're taking these stamps and we're wrapping it in paper like this, which came yesterday, and we're wrapping this, and then we're stamping this and we have stickers as well that say your probate realtor specialist, or it might say your divorce something specialist. And so I'm utilizing these boxes for my clients, which is my VIP clients, and beyond the transaction. So we're having multi-purposes, these boxes, where you will actually receive a box. If I sent out these boxes to 10 different attorneys and they open it up and they had some gifts in there and say, don't forget, with a little card saying, don't forget that I'm your your real estate divorce expert, and here's my team, it goes a long ways. And so this is something that we're doing, and we're doing this as our customers as well for your 1-year anniversary. And what I'm doing on the things that are inside this box for my customers and clients is I'm going to my clients and I'm actually asking them and finding stuff that they might be making on Etsy. I've got a couple of them that do stuff on Etsy, or I met the local honey guy that's down the street, or anything that's kind of local that I want to localize to help to spend money and help them on their business to be able to buy in bulk of maybe 30 or 40 or 50 of them at a time. And my wife actually made applesauce with the client's apples off a tree. So then we're going to make a card and kind of discuss that. We got apple butter that we put in there. So that's kind of our fall box that we're sending out to our clients this month. And then next month's going to be spring. So we're having some, different things for spring cleaning. We're actually I'm wrapping this around all my vendors. I know you guys have discussed and and been hearing about my vendors list, which we had a successful vendor party last week at the pizza place, which we think we had like 28 people that came, which was fantastic. But we're actually putting like together some cards or some coupons or some type of thing that they actually can then provide in the spring box of gutter cleaning and things of just, actually promoting my vendors in kind of a card, kind of coupon kind of type book as well. So these are kind of things that you want to say, how do I reach out? Because you guys, like I said earlier, is that you've got so many people coming in and soliciting at us, and how many attorneys are you going to call attorneys, and how many people are going to pick up the phone and want to chat with you? And they go, great, I already have kind of some relationships with some other agents, just like you're going to say when every lender in the world's calling you, I already have relationships with lenders, but thank you. So how are you going to be standing out? How are you going to be different? How are you going to break through that? And it's basically breaking through the gatekeeper. So I know a lot of title officers and people that they know the gatekeeper is Teresa. She's the gatekeeper. So if you get through Teresa and she likes you, then that actually gets me that she could actually open the door and then introduce me to a lender, introduce me to somebody new. So going after and putting these nice gift boxes, and maybe you do drop bys, maybe you pop by, maybe you see, but attorneys are busy just as real estate agents are busy. So it's difficult to do drop bys. So we're putting packages together when these boxes come and sending them to these attorneys and saying, don't forget me. We are your probate specialist, or in this case, your divorce specialist real estate agent. So that's really basic you can do. You can actually you could get really crazy. You could actually do stalking too, which I've done a couple times on Facebook, where all of a sudden you see people are, crying, or maybe it's your friends, maybe it's just somebody you see, and they say, hey, unfortunately, I'm getting divorced. And do you feel like you want to be really, stick it right there and say, DM them and say, hey, what are you doing with the house? Probably sounds a little bit kind of like you're just there for the money. But then what if you actually sent them an invite to a Zoom specialist? So it's a little bit less intrusive of just pick me, because now I want to take advantage of your unfortunate situation that you're getting divorced. But these people, just as I shared with you, the person that his dad died yesterday, they want to talk. They want to know what's going to go. They need to be informed. The last thing in their life that they even thought about is that they were going to get divorced. So they want a team. They want to understand what's next to be able to help guide them through. So basically, this is it. So those who jumped in, there's looks like Teresa dropped that in. You can take a picture of the Alumni Institute right there if you want to take a picture of that. $295, be certified, or just go to YouTube and learn a bunch of stuff about being certified and learn a bunch of stuff about divorces if you want to not pay the $295 first. But if you have that certificate, and then just go to these seminars and stuff that they'll be able to do, which is great. So that was it. So Davey, thank you so much for sharing and asking, how to really basically get divorce listings. There are some people that you could subscribe to lists that are out there. I haven't found the really best one. I've got a company that we're actually probably today we're going to be discussing that. I'll let you know what kind of happens, with the CAN. I know there's some probate companies out there. All the leads is what they're called, that they'll actually sell you lists from the probate stuff that they'll do, and then they'll actually send out you get postcards, mail outs. We've actually created our own pamphlet that we sent over to them, and then they're going to mail that out for the probate ones. So divorce ones are a little bit harder to kind of find. So the best way to find them is just letting people know that you're a divorce specialist and having the relationships with the attorneys, and that will actually draw some connection there. I doubt you probably want, even on their Google reviews, you could say, hey, they helped me through a hard divorce. Maybe they don't want to share that, but at that point, after the transaction's over, everybody else in the world knows they're divorced anyway. So if you could get a Google review out and just say, I know that this was a tough situation through our divorce and our split up here, but if here's your 5-star review. If you could just let people know how I helped you through the divorce situation, that would be great. And most of the time they use the word divorce, split up, help me out through the situation, difficult time. He was wonderful. And if you get those reviews, the algorithms and people will find you on that, or just do some click, pay per click is another thing. If you want to pay a little bit of money to actually have, so if somebody actually searches, because right now they're going to search, people getting divorced are going to search a divorce attorney near me. Are they going to say a divorce real estate agent? They may, but the key is going through the gatekeepers of the attorneys. All right, so cool, guys. I'm going to go for questions and answers here. I'm going to stop that share. I'm going to stop that recording, and then show it recording cloud.